Today I'm gonna show my last round game from Kadetska Liga. So as you might know, we have 3.5 points out of 4 rounds with our team of course, and now we are playing against the first seed of the tournament. And of course if we win this match, this 3-game match, we win the whole tournament. So let's see how I played. So I was facing Gaspar Drevenšek, who is slightly higher rated opponent, and I have never faced him before, and I knew that he plays e4 and that he against the c6 the Caro-Kann, something that I know, he plays very aggressively. So after e4 I played the move pawn to c6 of course, he played the move d4, I played the move d5, and he plays the move e5 here, which is known as the advanced variation. I played the bishop f5 variation, not c5, and now I knew that he will play knight to c3 in combination with pawn to g4. So against bishop to f5, as I said, he plays very aggressively. He played the move knight to c3, and after e6 the main line goes pawn to g4, and this is known as the van der Wiel attack. And of course the best move in the position is not to play bishop e4, allowing to take my bishop, but is to play bishop to g6 of course. And I prepared for this game very well. My coach and I went through all the possibilities, all the possible lines, and I knew the theory very well in this variation. So he played the move knight g to e2, I played the move c5, and after h4 I played the move h5. And now you might know that after knight to f4 from white, that black just sacrifices the h5 pawn. And this is what happened. He played the move knight to f4, I played the move bishop h7 of course, and he took the h5 pawn. And around here, my teammate went to walk around the playing hall, and he saw my game and he was like, what is happening in this game? But I was like, I had 4 minutes more than I started with. This was of course a classical tournament, and I was getting 30 seconds increment on every move, and I was feeling very okay with this position. Of course I took the d4 pawn, this is the theory, and after knight to b5 I played the move knight to c6, and after he took the d4 pawn I played the move knight g to e7, and this is the theory, this is what I know. And now the main line continues with the move pawn to c3, then I play a6, and I kind of forget what was in my prep, but he played the move bishop to e3, which is not the main move, so I simply play the move a6, not allowing any checks to occur on this diagonal once I take the knight. So now he played the move f4 very aggressively, and now I started to think on my own. I took the knight, and after he took back with the bishop, I played bishop e4, which is still okay, not the best move. I should have played the move knight to c6, this was kinda better, but okay, he played the move rook to h3, and now I play the move knight to c6, and of course there is no bishop to b5 pin, because I played the move a6, which is very important in the van der Wiel attack. So now he played the move c3, I took the bishop pair, and after queen takes d4, now I was feeling some pressure. Why? Because of course I'm down a pawn, and I didn't know where my compensation was. Of course I knew the opening ideas, I knew the middle game plans, I knew that I have to play knight to c6 once, and I have to take the dark square bishop on d4, but I didn't know how to play the position. And why is this important? This is very important because I am down a pawn, as I mentioned, and if you are down a pawn, you should know how to react. You should know how to play the position, and I didn't know why I sacrificed the pawn. Of course, then after the game I talked to my coach, and he said that I have a semi-open c file. I will play bishop to c5, afterwards I will play king to f8, and I will kick this knight away, and this knight has no bright future because the h4 pawn is always hanging because of my queen, and I have just okay position. And this is completely true. Rook to c8 is the best move in the position, followed by bishop to c5. This is a great plan. So I didn't know what to play here, so I just wanted to win my pawn back. So I played the move bishop to g6, which is very bad move, of course, because of course I thought that he cannot play knight to g3. Why not? Because I would just simply take the h4 pawn. Of course this is not true, because he can play queen to a4 check, And how can I react? Of course, the only move in the position that doesn't loses the rook, of course, is the move pawn to b5. And of course, I cannot play queen to d7 because rook on h4 is hanging, and after queen to d7, he can simply trade, and win my rook. So the only move after queen to h4 check is to play b5, excuse me, and after bishop takes b5, I have to take back, and now queen to d7 is the only move, and he can trade and win my rook, and he would have much more material than I would have, and I would be completely losing. So bishop to g6 was very bad because I didn't notice this queen to a4 check idea. But neither did my opponent. He played the move bishop to e2, just defending the pawn from behind, of course. And after bishop e2, I took the knight anyway and played the move bishop e7, of course attacking the h4 pawn. And now my opponent simply castled. Why is this move so good? Because after I play the move bishop to h4, if I were to take the pawn, then all these checks come, and of course this is the same idea. I cannot take bishop takes h4 because not only there is this check, of course after check I can go to f8, but of course then the g file opens up for his rook, and my bishop on h4 is very passive and not good. So of course after he castled long, I didn't took the pawn because I thought this was very bad. I simply played the move queen to a5 with the idea that he cannot play rook to g1. Why not? Because I have bishop to c5. Skewer, I will win the rook on g1. So he played the move king to b1, and now I played this not aggressive, but I thought was very smart move. I simply castled long. Why? Because I wanted this rook to be on g8, defending whole king side. And of course he cannot play rook to g1 once again, because bishop c4, bishop c5 wins the rook on g1. So he played the move rook to g3, very smart move. But now of course the h4 pawn is hanging, but I didn't want it to take because rook would infiltrate my position, and of course all pawns on 7th rank would be very weak. So I simply played the move rook h to g8, defending my g7 pawn, and he played the move f5, and now I thought I must be losing. Why? Because he's kind of threatening f6 at some moment, and of course now I wanted to do something. I wanted to trade pieces to release the tension, to release the pressure, so I played the move queen to c5, and in this position the computer says the position should be better, or if not winning for white. The position is plus 1.5, and of course he took the queen, and after bishop takes c5 he played the move f takes e6. After f takes e6, excuse me, he has this idea that I thought he missed, or what did he play? I don't know. He played the move rook to g6, but the best move in the position by far, I thought, was bishop to g4. Why? Because he is not only attacking the e6 pawn. I cannot play king to d7, of course, because then the d5 pawn would be hanging. But after bishop to g4, there is rook g to e8, and the position is okay, I think. After something like here, now I can play king to b8, and my position is okay. So after f takes e6, the only move to gain advantage is to play rook to g6, and this is what my opponent the Gasper found. And of course with the same idea of bishop g4 and then taking this pawn is correct, of course. But now I play this move d4. I saw that if I play something passive like rook to e8, that he simply wins on the spot, because the pawn is hanging on d5 because of this tactic with this pin on e6 pawn. So I wanted to create some counterplay. I played the move d4 in this position, and of course after the trade I took back with the bishop, and my coach after the game told me that this was very smart to create some counterplay down the center, and he of course took the pawn on e6, and now had 2 pawns up. But of course these 2 pawns are isolated and doubled, and this pawn will be picked up by me in any moment. So after I play the move bishop f2, going for the pawn, of course he cannot defend the pawn. He can with rook to h1, but this I thought was very passive, and I can simply trade off the rooks and win this pawn as well. So I thought I had much better drawing chances than before. And after bishop to f2, he simply played the move rook e to d6. And of course, the idea being, if I take back, he will take back with the pawn, of course. And then the pawn is only 2 squares away from queening. He will play bishop g4 check. He will play rook c1 and rook to c8 and will make a new queen. So I thought that this is bad move, and therefore after rook e to d6 I simply took the pawn, and I thought that he missed this tactic. Of course, after bishop takes h4, my rook is defended twice or 3 times, of course, with my king, but I thought that he thought that he has this check and winning my rook. Of course, this is not true, because after king to b8, this bishop from h4 is defending my rook on d8, therefore I won't lose my rook. So after bishop takes h4, he did play the move bishop to g4 check. I played the move king to b8, and now he played the move e6. And after the move e6, I thought I am drawing this one. Why? Because I simply took the rook, and after he took back, I played the move rook to d8, offering a rook trade, and if he were to take my rook, I take back with the bishop, and because the bishops are on opposite color complex, the game should end in a draw pretty quickly. So he surprised me. I thought he would play rook to b6, but he took the rook, I took back, and in few moves I simply made fortress. I played bishop f6, of course preparing king e7. I will play b6 and a5, putting my 2 pawns on dark squares. Therefore I will defend it with my bishop, and I thought this position should be completely equal. So he played b3, I played b6, he played king to f5, I played bishop to a1, simply putting this bishop on this diagonal, of course defending the g7 pawn. And after bishop e2, I played the move a5, of course, putting my pawns on dark squares. This is really important. And after bishop c4, I played bishop e7, king to e7, excuse me. After bishop b5, I played bishop to b2. After bishop d7, I played bishop c3, just moving around on this diagonal. Therefore, this pawn will be always defended, and he started marching his king up, king e4. I played bishop b4 with the intention of playing bishop to c5 after he plays king to d5. So I played bishop c5, he played king to c6, I played bishop to g1, and here is where my opponent offered me a draw. Of course, I accept the draw, but not only I drew the higher rated opponent, our team managed to win the whole tournament. We beat the first seed of the tournament, and the guy, my friend from desk 1, he was playing on desk 1, as I mentioned, he beat the FIDE master, and so we were really happy. This is my first national championship that I won, of course, and even though I won some tournaments before, this is by far my greatest result at the competition. So if you like the video, make sure to subscribe to follow more such content, and see you guys in another video.